Good evening, everyone. My name is Thoa Kim Nguyen, the current president of the Union of North American Vietnamese Student Associations, also known as UNAVSA. Thank you for joining me this evening as I report from Washington, D.C. for UNAVSA's first ever presidential address. In this event, I recognize UNAVSA's accomplishments, define the current state of the organization, and with excitement announce future plans. This year marks our 14th year in operation, and since our humble beginnings, UNAVSA has expanded on many aspects of our organization to better serve our members. The previous executive board defined our pillars of operations as education, leadership, philanthropy, and Vietnamese culture. These pillars helped formulate goals and guided decision-making throughout their term. At the start of my term, we restructured the action plan to have an efficient operational focal point by placing education as our main pillar. Education not only supports our other pillars of leadership, philanthropy, and Vietnamese culture, it brings a simple explanation to our purpose while adding weight to our actions. The pillars of operations are now officially part of the Constitution, ensuring their continuity throughout all UNAVSA's future projects and initiatives. Along with the implementation of pillars, we've updated our vision statement to better reflect our community and their wants from UNAVSA, which states, a thriving nonprofit organization that achieves inclusiveness and equality in the greater Vietnamese community through resources, education, social awareness, and embracing diversity. I wanted a structure to help with the flow of projects and to make sure they fit our mission, to empower the next generation of Vietnamese leaders with a passion for service, propensity for leadership, and self-awareness with the intent of advocating for progress in the North American Vietnamese community. With the new restructuring came an update to our Constitution and bylaws. The board recognized in order for the next generation of leaders to further build upon the progress of the past, there needed to be clear guidelines and a standard of procedures in place for transparency, accountability, and professionalism. We've incorporated staff handbooks, staff agreements, and 360 performance reviews for everyone on staff, including eBoard. My hope is that leaders not only have an open environment to grow personally, but also professionally with the right resources and training. Along the lines of transparency, UNAVSA will continue to publish annual reports showcasing the impact of programs combined with financial reports to further gain support and grants for existing and new projects. Also in the Constitution update is the confirmation of roles and responsibilities of the new cabinet: alumni relations, information and technologies, marketing and public relations, and sponsorship. These committees operate year-round supporting our projects in addition to our council regional representatives and long-standing collective philanthropy branch. I want to thank the former executive board, previous directors, and staff of these committees. Their time and dedication is often overlooked as much of the work is internal and not recognized by the public. But without them, we would not be able to flourish. The current cabinet directors are Elizabeth Nguyen of Alumni Relations, Vu Tai and Jeannie Nguyen of Marketing and Public Relations, Randy Nguyen of IT, and Anna Nguyen and Tu Mai Nguyen of Sponsorship. Thanks for your guidance and commitment to our mission. This year also marks the 10th year anniversary of the Collective Philanthropy Project. CPP has been a cornerstone project of UNAVSA as an initiative and intention of uniting the Vietnamese youth community to collectively give back to the greater Vietnamese community. CPP has been able to raise funds, jumpstarting multiple projects that include, but not limited to, providing medical services, starting leadership programs, battling sex trafficking, building orphanages, sanitizing water for underprivileged communities, and collecting the stories of boat people. Through the years, the CPP committee itself has also evolved, which was once a leg of conference planning, is now a fully operating branch with distinct structures that keep the project stable and sustainable. First, starting with the selection committee led by April Nguyen. They're in charge of seeking and filtering potential beneficiaries to make sure each project proposed meets standards and aligns with our mission and vision as an organization. Then the campaign committee, led by Mitchell Nguyen, is in charge of formulating a strategic plan to raise awareness and funds for the current beneficiary chosen. Lastly, the audit committee, led by Sarah Vuong, and Lucy Tran, is in charge of tracking the progress of the beneficiaries project and managing funds so everything is fair, transparent, and of quality. This year's beneficiary is the Catalyst Foundation, and their goal is to provide disadvantaged children the basics of education, food, and safety in Vietnam through a program called Project Backpack. The campaign team will closely work with Catalyst Foundation to raise awareness for their mission and funds to support their goals and success of the project. I'm proud to say that we're one of the only student-based organizations able to raise on average $65,000 to jumpstart projects that directly tackle prominent issues in the Vietnamese community. The last 2 projects have reached 6 figures in fundraising, and I can't thank our partners and VSAs enough for their continued efforts and support and participation. It's amazing what a group of driven individuals can do, and it's you all that are the real MVPs. Thank you. Another cornerstone project, and one that has propelled our organization to new heights, is UNAVSA's annual leadership conference. Our humble beginnings started when founders held the first leadership conference, UNAVSA, in Boston, Massachusetts, where over 200 young activists from across the country met to speak on issues and challenges pertaining to the community. We've had a total of 13 conferences so far, and each showcasing the hosting region's culture while inspiring individuals to be leaders. This year's conference returns to the enriching city of New Orleans, which previously hosted UNAVSA 4. At every conference, attendees have the opportunity to network with one another, build relationships, and utilize that energy to bring back to their local communities. This year's theme, Unlock the Present, directly calls for attendees to focus and be active in the here and now. UNAVSA wants attendees to observe and analyze the current social climate while engaging in conversations and activities that promote the very ideals of collaboration, collectivism, understanding, and unity. I hope your members are able to join us this year, as we have a wonderful team of directors working around the clock to provide exceptional programming. This year's conference is led by the executive team of Tan Tan Pham, our executive director, and her associate directors, Vanessa Wang and Lynn Quat. I know each of the committee directors are also passionate and very excited to bring an amazing conference to attendees. Moving on, I am very happy to announce our partnering organizations: New England Intercollegiate Vietnamese Student Associations, the Mid-Atlantic Union of Vietnamese Student Associations, Northeast Union of Vietnamese Student Associations, Northwest Vietnamese Student Associations, the Southwest Union of Vietnamese Student Associations, Union of Vietnamese Student Associations of the Gulf Coast region, Union of Vietnamese Student Associations of the Midwest, Union of Vietnamese Student Associations of the Southeast, Union of Vietnamese Student Associations of Southern California, Union of Vietnamese Student Associations South Region, United Vietnamese Student Associations of Northern California, United Vietnamese Students Association of Ontario, last and not least, Western Canada Vietnamese Student Associations. In my 8 years of involvement, I've witnessed a tremendous growth within our 13 partnering regions, and I'm proud of their programs and events, while promoting cross-collaboration, not just within their own regions, but the neighboring regions as well. Even though our partners have had great success over the years, we at UNAVSA know there is still much work and needed effort in supporting the regions to create impact on a local level with VSAs, especially members within Canada. Our board and staff is dedicating to creating a larger inclusive environment to encompass our diverse membership through more research of regional culture, promotion of regional events, and new projects brought on by our Council of Regional Representatives. Korres also assisted in drafting and voting on statements released by UNAVSA in regards of current events and events affecting the Vietnamese community here and abroad. While UNAVSA remains non-political, non-partisan, the organization recognizes the importance of education and awareness of Vietnamese youth voices. I would like to thank our Corps as they not only carry out their own individual roles, but also vote on matters that best serve their respective community. I also want to emphasize that UNAVSA is a union and no longer an umbrella organization. We believe our existence is because of our partners and their equal contributions to the greater Vietnamese community. As a union, major decisions concerning stances on issues are decided by the Board of Directors, a combination of the Executive Board and the Council of Regional Representatives. We want UNAVSA to best reflect the opinions and wants of constituents and constitutionally bound to always consult with partners. It's no doubt that our political climate in the U.S. is changing quite rapidly, and we here at UNAVSA urge and encourage our members to stay up to date in the recent news. The fight for equality is certainly tested throughout time, and I would like to reiterate what was said in our most recent statement. UNAVSA is not just an organization, but a family that protects each other with the very ideals of acceptance, inclusivity, and diversity. Alongside our partners, we do not and we will not tolerate actions that systematically discriminate against marginalized groups. We will voice our outrage concerning unconstitutional mandates. Issues like the travel ban in the U.S. is no longer about politics, but about human rights. We stand with immigrants, refugees, the Muslim community, and all individuals that are bullied and targeted on the basis of their beliefs, ethnicity, or personal preferences. My board and I have witnessed an influx of social media activity regarding the recent events and hope members take action for a greater impact by participating in conversations, rallies, and contacting of local government representation. Civic engagement isn't reserved for every 4 years or whenever there's a large transfer of power in governments. It should happen every year. Moving forward, the Executive Board has been working hard on new projects. Throughout this speech, I've mentioned some of the great successes of UNAVSA and note our cornerstone projects are the leading events. However, I believe our organization is capable of achieving more. Our board recognizes our reach and engagement with VSAs should improve. After all, we serve our members directly. Starting with the formation of the Civic Engagement Committee. This committee will solely be dedicated to the current events pertaining to the political climate in the U.S. and Canada, to better inform our constituents of events and present objective views. Going off our education pillar, again, awareness is a large part of educating members, and we believe well-informed individuals make for better leaders, in conjunction with training and resources. Another project mentioned quite heavily during the UNAVSA elections was VSA Academy. We are revamping and restructuring the project to create more interactive materials that is relevant to our members' needs. In our most recent demographic survey, participants chose career help and cultural education as areas of interest and focus. Lastly, my board and I are still heavily invested in the internship and externship program I proposed during elections. My goal is to validate the VSA experience and hope to provide our members with more opportunities to develop. We are a unique group of individuals containing some of the most talented, creative, and bright minds of our generation. I'd like to make the VSA experience not only fun, but fulfilling. I would like to thank you again for joining me this evening, as well as all of the individuals that helped put this live stream together. Shout out to the Marketing and Public Relations Committee for all their efforts, and a special thank you to Daniel Liu, the External Vice President of the Mid-Atlantic UVSA, also a regional representative. Lastly, thank you to all thousands of volunteers in the last 14 years, and thank you for your dedication and efforts, as well as the current staff of UNAVSA. I am proud to be part of this organization and have great hopes for our future. Remember, it starts with you. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart, and good night.